I strongly believe that sometimes people need to fight it out. Because talking doesn't do it. Sometimes you can talk. Like in this certain situations, you could talk to a person. You express how you feel. They express how they feel. And y'all come to a mutual agreement that y'all either don't agree or, you might start seeing it from another person's point of view. When it gets to the level, or when you deal with people that, like, sometimes how I used to be, I don't even want to hear that. I don't give a fuck how you felt. I don't care what you thought. What's up? What we doing?
Nobody was ready for this one. It started like any other day until people on Twitter started whispering about some leaked court paperwork. At first, it sounded like just another rumor, just more gossip people would laugh off by lunchtime. But then the screenshots started showing up. And what they showed, nobody could believe it. A court filing real legal paperwork from New Jersey claiming Remy Ma was legally married, but not to Papoose. The name listed beside hers? DJ Envy. That's right. Not a blog. Not a joke. Government documents listing her as Reminisce Mackie Casey. And anyone who knows DJ Envy's real name knows that Casey is his last name. What was going on? Was this a typo? A mix-up? Or had Remy Ma been hiding a secret marriage for over a decade? The leak came straight out of a New Jersey courthouse, tied to a completely unrelated real estate dispute. According to reports, a clerk noticed something strange in the records. One document had Remy's full legal name, but it didn't end with Mackie. It ended with Mackie Casey. That one little detail sent shockwaves through the system. Because Casey is DJ Envy's real surname. And nobody, absolutely nobody, had ever connected those two names in a legal context before. Gossip blogs immediately got to work. Internet sleuths dove headfirst into the database, pulling every file they could. And sure enough, the filings were there. Multiple mentions of Remy and Envy. The most shocking one? A document from more than 10 years ago, describing them as cohabiting spouses. Not business partners. Not friends. Spouses. The date on that document hit even harder. It was filed shortly after Remy had been released from prison. A time when everyone thought she was focused on rebuilding her life with Papoose. A time when she was doing interviews about loyalty, love, and second chances. But now, people are asking if she was already legally tied to someone else. And not just anyone, DJ Envy, one of the most well-known voices on radio. The paperwork didn't look fake. It had court seals, official barcodes, filing numbers, all things that would be almost impossible to fabricate. Fans started comparing the documents to other known legal files just to check. They matched. The language, the formatting, the codes, it all checked out. That's when disbelief turned into chaos. Suddenly, Remy's name was trending again, but not for a verse, not for a performance, not even for the Clarissa wedding drama. This time, it was for a legal bombshell that could ruin everything she had spent years trying to rebuild. And Papoose? The man who stood by her during her prison bid, who waited, who raised their family, who defended her at every turn. Where did he fit into this? The questions kept growing. If Remy had really been married to DJ Envy since back then, what did that mean for her public wedding to Papoose? Was it all just for show? Could a marriage even be legal if she was already someone else's wife on paper? And how could something this huge stay hidden for so long? As fans zoomed in on every line of the document, digging deeper into its origin, timelines started to blur. People began looking back at old photos, old interviews, old interactions between Remy and DJ Envy, trying to piece together what might have been in front of them all along. It didn't help that Remy and Envy had crossed paths plenty of times over the years, both before and after her release, and when one blog posted the filing with highlighted sections and arrows pointing directly at the words Reminisce Mackie Casey and Spouse, it was too late to walk anything back. The court had already confirmed the document was real. The only thing they wouldn't say was whether it was still legally active. That silence only made things worse. Because now, not only was there proof of a legal tie between Remy and Envy, but there was no statement clearing it up. No lawyer came forward. No rep made a statement. Remy said nothing. Envy said nothing. Papoose said nothing. And in the middle of all that silence, the internet kept screaming, long before the court document was leaked, long before the world even knew to ask the right questions. There were signs that DJ Envy and Remy Ma had a deeper connection. It's just that nobody was really paying attention. Their names had floated around the same spaces for years. They came from the same New York circles, hip-hop, radio, industry parties. They'd both been grinding in the game since the early 2000s, bumping into each other at interviews, green rooms, studio sessions. At the time, nobody thought anything of it. Remy was known for her raw lyrics and Bronx loyalty. Envy was the polished radio guy with a family and a reputation for staying out of drama until he didn't. Now, with this court leak in front of the public, fans are looking back on old timelines with fresh eyes, and what they're finding is raising eyebrows all over again. Back in the early 2000s, before Remy went to prison, there were quiet whispers, just background noise at first, about her having a close friendship with someone in media. Nobody ever named names out loud. But now that Envy's name is being tied to hers legally, everything's being re-examined. During the time Remy was sentenced and eventually released in 2014, Envy was dealing with his own public issues. He'd been caught cheating, admitted to infidelity on air during a segment on The Breakfast Club, and even talked about nearly losing his wife, Gia Casey. But what he never said, what nobody ever thought to ask, was who he was unfaithful with. He danced around the specifics, talked about regret, about healing, about rebuilding trust. But now, people are starting to wonder if Remy was part of that chapter, because right around the time Envy was going through that storm with Gia, Remy had just gotten out. She was reintroducing herself to the world, giving interviews, dropping music, and telling stories about how hard prison was. In one interview, she mentioned someone in media who had kept in touch with her during her sentence. She didn't name them, but she said they helped her feel like she hadn't been forgotten, that she still had people in her corner. That tiny moment flew under the radar at the time, but fans are digging it back up now and comparing it to the court filing. What if that person was Envy? What if the emotional support wasn't just about friendship? What if it grew into something more, something deeper, something binding, like marriage? The craziest thing is how invisible it all seemed. For over a decade, Remy and Envy kept their public interactions minimal. No Instagram tags, no flirty exchanges, just the occasional interview, like the one where Remy went up to The Breakfast Club to promote her projects. She sat beside Charlemagne, spoke directly to Angela Yee, and laughed politely with Envy. Fans rewatching those clips now say the tension feels different, like there's something unsaid between them. Like two people sharing a secret in plain sight. And when you watch them closely, you notice how they avoid eye contact too long, how the small talk seems rehearsed. It's not proof, but it's enough to get people speculating. Envy has always painted himself as a family man, but he's also been transparent about his flaws. He admitted on multiple occasions that his marriage went through serious strain, that there were years where trust didn't exist, that his wife had every reason to leave but stayed. And now fans are asking, did she stay because she didn't know everything? Or because she already knew too much? Because if this marriage to Remy really did happen, and if it was more than just a legal technicality, then everything about Envy's past confessions takes on new weight. And if Papoose was kept in the dark too, then both marriages might have been built on a silence so loud, it's finally starting to crack. And here's where it gets even deeper. Around 2015, right when Remy was re-entering the scene and Envy was rebuilding his image, there was a sharp shift in how they moved. Remy suddenly leaned heavily into her love story with Papoose, using their bond as a symbol of loyalty and strength. Envy doubled down on repairing things with Gia, writing a book with her, doing joint interviews, even crying on air about his regrets. Both of them, publicly, were all about love, redemption, and Black family unity. But behind the scenes, was there still a thread connecting them? A legal tie, forgotten or buried, that neither one dared to acknowledge? That's the question everyone's asking now. Because for that court document to exist, someone had to file it. Someone had to sign it. That kind of thing doesn't just appear by accident.